Hello, it's me. I'm here, I promise. Let me turn on the ducks. So you can see the lovely parade of cuties. One single hydrate in the chat. Very sus. Hydrates don't usually come in the singular. Exiled Faye, hello. The Mad Lad, hello. Shut the Alpaca, hello, hello. How is everybody? Celestial Serenade, I'm not actually all caught up. Ooh, Exiled Faye, I'm curious where you stopped. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I hope Pi is okay. I'm hoping that maybe it was like a test hydrate and he's just waiting to drop, you know, the hydration bomb. Cheers, Pi. A single hydrate while we wait for more. I'm sure there'll be more later. I'm sure he was just waiting for me to get on camera. Wow, that Pineapple the Pizza Duck really wanted to be down on the ice. Gina Stark, hello, hello, how's it going? With your diamond paintings. I'm super excited about the dragon. Should go up here, though, because I want to see the rest of the duck spawn. There are a lot of ducks on this map right now. I'm hoping that we can actually spawn all of the ducks before we start having... Because this was the map that had slowdown once before. There's Exiled Phase Duck. Heck yeah. Boop. Did we check on Pi? Pi, are you there? Are you okay? Ooh, there's the Shut the Opaca's duck as well. Almost done with the Game of Thrones, then on to the dragon. Heck yeah, the Game of Thrones one looks super cool too. I almost said Game of Thrones singular. Heck yeah, I am back to working on the dragon. I guess I didn't show you guys. I finished... Hang on, I gotta move some stuff. I finished this, The Art of Tea. So all of these, you can't really see the details from zoomed out, but all of these have lovely, gorgeous details on them now. There were so many French knots on this one, I hated it. But it looks gorgeous now that it's done. This is for vinyl stencil. So that's going to be going to her soon, very soon. And I am back to working on my dragon. So you can kind of see, I don't know if I can get in close enough. There's like a silver metallic thread on there. It looks super gorgeous, but it's really hard to work with. So you can see I've started filling in the crescent moon and the wings. So that is very slowly coming together. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I don't enjoy the parts with the silver metallic. It's a very finicky... I've not worked with, like, metallic threads before. It's very finicky. It doesn't seem like it should be able to fray, but it actually frays quite easily. I've actually found that the speedier I can be getting that one onto the canvas, the better, because the longer it takes me to get the stitches in, the more it frays, and it's just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, also, for those of you who enjoy organization, I have finished organizing all of my new threads. So there's a thing of beauty right there. Heck yeah. And then I have my older threads that I'm now currently working on. So this is the last of the new ones here. And then these pink ones are my older threads being reorganized. And you can see the parts that I have left to reorganize over here. And then once I get all of my old threads reorganized, I'm going to pull over the scraps from my finished cross-stitch projects. And then I'll be ready to start sorting out what colors I'm going to use for my new projects. So I'm very excited. I submitted the final draft for that poetry competition. If I get shortlisted, I'll be invited to London to see if I won. That's amazing. Mad Lad, good luck. Please let us know how it goes. That is super exciting news. Pie on a 20 stream streak. Still only the one hydrate for today. Very curious. Pie, are you okay? Are you doing all right? We're thinking of you. We love you. I actually, Pi sent me a message on Discord, and it took me a day and a half to reply because, in case you're wondering why it took me a day and a half to reply, I needed Ghost to explain your post to me. You sent me that GIF, and I did not know what it meant. And I had to ask Ghost Pepper, what does this mean? He knew! He knew. He instantly knew. And he explained to me how I could reply. But I was just like, I don't know what this means. Why? Hello, hello. Ghost is currently sneaking the new Lego Lord of the Rings Barad-dûr set into the house. He doesn't have to sneak it. He could just bring it. I didn't know what big cat meant, Pi. You sent me a message. For those that don't know, which is everybody, Pi sent me a message. I sent Pi a message saying that he's my good friend and I appreciate him. And he sent me a gift back that said, Cap Scale 1000. And I had no idea what that meant. I was like, well, how's he going to sneak it in the house if it's fucking huge? Also, I'm still cool with it. You should. There's always a puzzle. There's always an 1,000-piece or more puzzle on our kitchen table. Was it 1 million? Oh, I'm sorry, Pi. It said cap scale 1 million. I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea what it meant. So I pulled Ghost Pepper into my office last night, and I was like, I need you, because you work with the youths, so I need you to explain to me what this means. And he said... No. Listen, you guys don't believe me when I say I'm old as sin. I'm an old woman. I didn't know what cap meant. So, Ghost Pepper goes, go to your gift search. And I was like, okay. And he's like, type no cap and send a response. So I was like, okay. So now y'all know. Yeah, I had no idea what that meant. So I had no idea how to reply. He want to sneak it in because it's 460. Oh, he won't buy something that big. He won't buy something that expensive. Ghost Pepper, for those of you that don't know, doesn't spend money. Trying to get him to spend money on himself. It sounds like something is ringing in this song, so we're gonna skip it. Because I don't like that. I don't like that ringing sound. He won't spend money. Getting him to spend money is like... His parents are coming to visit us this summer. We have been talking about buying a new grill for like 2 years. Because we have a very nice grill, but it's small and it's old. And we want to get something bigger. Because we host people now that the pandemic is over. And we have a bigger house. And we want something... He wants something a little bit nicer, something a little bit custom. But we keep not... It just keeps not happening. In fairness, it didn't happen last summer because there was a forest fire in our town. And we just didn't have time when things went on sale to worry about it. So his parents are coming to visit this summer. And they were like, how about we toss in some money toward a grill for, like, your birthday present? And he was like, And it's like, honey, we've been talking about spending this money for 2 years. Like, let's just do it. It's Peter. Hello, Peter. How you feeling? It's 2 feet tall and has over 5,400 pieces. He might have to worry about me sneaking it into the house. I definitely want that. Sleepy but okay, how are you? I'm doing good. I was a bit of a disaster last week, as I'm sure many of you know because many of you were there. I forgot to change what project we're working on today. I best do that. My brain just 404 errored. I was a disaster last week, as many of you know, but Ghost Pepper's home now. I am sleeping the good sleep again. I did not sleep well while Ghost Pepper was away. So I'm actually sleeping again. I woke up yesterday feeling very groggy because, you know how, like, when you wake up from, like, a light sleep, it's really easy to, like, get up and get your brain working. Hungry, but lunch isn't for another hour. No! Exiled Faye. I hope that hour goes quickly. Feral Megan is 10 out of 10 mood. Listen, I slept that, like, really deep sleep for the first time in, like, a week. And my alarm went off when I was, like, deep asleep. And so I was just very groggy yesterday morning. It took me several hours to get my brain working. But last night, I slept very well, and I woke up before my alarm, so I was only lightly dozing when my alarm went off. There's 4 hydrates. That's what we've come to expect. Heck yeah. A 1. A 2. A 3. And a 4. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime, doubly so. You're welcome. Douglas Adams, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Do I need to create another... I think I need to create a new thing here. Text box. Can I do this without breaking the whole layout? Can we do it? And now I need my text settings. For any of you wondering what this text font is, it is Merendia. Alright, and for that one, we've got size 29. This one might have to be smaller. So we need to make its font size black, so you're going to be able to actually see it. Alright, and then we need to make one more text box. Last night I had a dream that was equal parts work-related and college-related, like I didn't have any anxiety in college. What is this? Lomi, hello! I'll hydrate for Lomi. How's it going? I come with a question. What software do you use for writing your books? Word 2007. Specifically. I used a really old copy of Word, like Word 9, for writing stuff. Mine's probably older than yours. But I recently acquired Final Draft 11 for scripting, but I use the same software for novel writing, but I feel kind of deflated because it doesn't look in book form. I'm doing pretty good, Why? Thank you for asking. How are you, Why? Did I ask? We were so busy talking about the new Lego set that I don't think we even asked how each other are. I'm doing pretty good. Lomi, how's it going? I use Word 2007. I have it for free from when I was in college. I prefer a proper word processor. People have been getting on my ass since my hard drive died on why don't you use Google Docs? Why don't you use the cloud? Because I don't like Google Docs. It's not a proper word processor. It doesn't do the things I need to do. And I have clients that I edit for on Google Docs, and I love my clients dearly, but I hate Google Docs. It's slow. When you write as long as I do, it's very slow. The history feature is nice, but if you save different drafts like I do, it's kind of irrelevant. Where it just does all of the things that I need it to do, and it's sleek, it's smooth. You could try LibreOffice if you're looking for a free word processor. Does most of the same things. Slightly bulkier, I find, but it is what the people who used to be making OpenOffice have switched to supporting LibreOffice now. It's like the next incarnation. What was I doing here? Oh, yes. And I need to change. I got distracted. Text settings. Merendia. Black. Whoops. And I need to go back to my layers. Text settings, size 16. Everything gotta look all nice and uniform here. Alright, let's see. Ooh, okay, hang on. Fix that a little bit more. There we go. It's readable now. That's what we're working on today. I get why don't you use Google Docs a lot, and I'm like, I like to write offline. Yeah, like, people were like, why don't you use the cloud? Like, your data's all backed up. And it's like, I can't get people to understand that the issue with my hard drive dying was not data. I didn't lose any data. I think I may have lost like 2 or 3 files, which I didn't really need anymore anyway. Like, all of my data is pretty obsessively backed up. It's the programs. It's the work environment. It takes me like 12 hours to reset. Like, with a solid state hard drive, it takes like 5 minutes to install Windows, and it takes like 12 hours to install everything else that I use. And it's just like my issue is not data. My issue is my programs. And like, even one of my friends is, she's an art teacher, and she does a lot of design stuff. And even explaining to her, because she's like, well, why don't you use Google Drive? And it's like, because data is not my problem. Like, my issue is how long it takes to reinstall all of the word process. Like, because I do use Office and LibreOffice, and I need Photoshop to be reinstalled, and I need to go into all of those programs and find all the little settings that I've ticked that make my life easier, like getting Word to preserve my tabs when I put a blank line in, and like all this other stuff, so that I'm not spending like 1,000,000 hours doing an extra backspace when I'm trying to edit. And I forget what all settings I've changed to make my life easier. So I go in and I try to do my work, and I'm like, why is this not working the way I want it to work? And I spend so much time looking up where every little setting is and trying to get it all. Yeah, reinstalling software is not quick at all. So, honestly, I'm looking into a couple of different things. I'm tempted to just set up a RAID array, but effort. Currently going through caffeine withdrawal. Oh no! Are you cutting caffeine for a reason? Why? Are you, have you found that you are drinking too much caffeine and you're trying to cut back? Almost out of school year, so I'm trying to finish up stuff for this summer's book release. It's stressful and busy, but making progress. Nice! Good luck! You guys go into summer so much earlier than us, although we go back to school so much later than you. Data is not my problem, it's lore. Lol, Peter. I use OneDrive because I'm already paying for it. I hate OneDrive. It's... Also, one of the things for me is, again, because I like to use an offline word processor, I just email myself my file because it's the fastest way to make sure that I'm not accidentally overwriting the wrong file, or that I always know where, like, my most up-to-date file is. Because it's like, why would I write, like, everyone who's like, oh, why don't you use Google Drive? Why would I write on Word and store my file on Google Drive? Like, that's just so much extra effort. It's really easy to email myself at the end of every day whatever I've worked on, and then just delete the history of the email every now and then. I do actual backups, by the way. That's not how I do my only backup. I don't just back up by emailing myself stuff. That's just my quick and dirty at the end of the day. Like, I do full backups. I'm currently looking into getting myself a new external hard drive because my current external hard drive is as old as my marriage. So I told Ghost Pepper, I was like, I kind of think I want a new external hard drive because mine's as old as our marriage. And he laughed and he was like, that's fair. Don't drink caffeine-based drinks on weekends, only on work days, trying to cut back. Makes sense. You do lose the benefits, the stimulating benefits of coffee if you drink too much of it. I try to explain this to Ghost all the time, but he drinks like 4 cups of coffee every day. I like this angle of this dramatic angle with the ducks. I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day because if I drink more than that, I don't sleep. Had to get much better at data management to avoid having a mess of different versions of my book, and I still opened up the wrong one last Saturday. It's tough because you want to make sure that everything is backed up like really well, and really frequently. But, also, creative people aren't the most organized by nature. We kind of have to learn it. So it is a learned skill. You have to kind of figure out, like, what type of organization works for you. Because I find that, like, by nature, we are chaotic beings. Creativity is a wild and unruly thing. And trying to give it a shape takes a lot of practice. Been feeling like shit on weekends due to lack of caffeine. Oh no, why? I hope you feel better. I hope you're able to find a balance where... Because it's tough, like, if I go for 2 days without drinking coffee, even I get withdrawal, and I don't drink that much caffeine compared to a lot of people I know. So, it's tough. Never tried coffee. I consider it a blessing, but some people look at me like I've just admitted. I mean, if you don't like coffee, you don't like coffee. I'm assuming that you drink tea, Mad Lad. Which, there is caffeine in tea. It's a much lower caffeine content, but there is caffeine in tea. Is a thing. So... Oh yeah, Exiled Faye, did you ever say where you stopped in the Celestial Serenade? I'm very curious. We got distracted by talking about the fact that I didn't know what cap was. Never tried tea, I only drink water. Well, you know what, the Mad Lad? That's very healthy of you. Kudos to you. I need flavor. I do drink a lot of water. But I do need my coffee in the morning. Hey, I gave this advice to Peter the other day, and I give it to all of you who are trying to be healthier and you want to just drink more water, but you're like, water's so plain. Buy yourself an infuser and make yourself, like, water infusions. You can make cucumber water, you can make fruity water. Like, we used to do strawberry kiwi or, like, lime, or you can just throw a slice of lemon in there. Just keep it in the fridge with whatever slices in there while you drink the water. It's really good. It's really healthy for you. It's a lot healthier than drinking like soda or coffee or tea or whatever. And it gets you some flavor without using a ton of sugar. Like those packets, those water flavor packets that you can buy are nice and all, but they're sugar. So just buy yourself an infuser. It pays for itself pretty quickly. Even as I'm saying this, I'm like, I need to dig out our infusers and start making infused water again. It's super good. You can flavor it to like your taste, right? So you could put like a single slice of lemon in there if that's all you want. You can put a couple slices of lemon in there. You could do like whatever flavors you want. Whatever you can think of, you can use those infusers. They're super good. I do sometimes drink Coke and 7-Up, so I'm not a caffeine-free person. I've never personally tried it, but I've heard Air Up is good. I don't know what Air Up is. I'm assuming it's one of those, like, flavor packets. The problem with those flavor packets is a lot of them contain some form of sweetener. And any type, like, if you're trying to drink water, the primary reason to drink water instead of other things is because it's healthy for you. It doesn't have a bunch of sugar and crap piled into it. So if you're using those flavor packets, you're getting rid of a lot of the health qualities of water because you're putting sugar back in it. And if you put, like fruit or vegetables or whatever, you are adding a slight bit of sugar content into the water, but it's natural sugar, so it's not as bad for you as, like, all of the fucking aspartame that they put into those flavor packets. It's a flavor pod that flavors the water through smell. Interesting. But I discovered it's a very simple hack. Cool water, like water from the fridge, absolutely hits. Oh yeah, I like my water ice cold. It doesn't change the water, it just makes you smell the flavor, tricking your brain into tasting it. Interesting. But it must add something into the water. If it dissolves into the water. Unless you don't, like, actually put it in the water. So, I've yammered a lot. Let's get down to what we're doing today. Oh, interesting. It's connected to the lid, not the water. Interesting. Flavor, like, I would say just get yourself an infuser. I'm not saying I would fight water, but I absolutely would. We know, Peter. We know you would. So as you've noticed from the current project and the title of the stream, we're outlining the fourth trilogy of the Celestial Serenade this week. We're not going to do the whole trilogy today, just book 10. And some of you might be saying, oh yeah, Megan, I thought that series was finished. I thought you put out the last book last year, you celebrated the ending, there was an epilogue and everything. So here's the story. Here's the scoop. When I was putting together the final book of the Celestial Serenade, when I was doing the final editing pass, prior to the release editing pass, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is for real the final book. Like, I thought I wrote the ending of this series 3 times, but it's for reals. It's for reals the ending this time. It feels so good. And then my characters were like, hold on a second. What if there was just a little bit more to this story that you didn't tell? There's this big time jump. There were some significant things that happened in there. What if there was another trilogy of this book? And I was like, this can't be happening. This is not again. Not again. It's like if you've ever read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the whale and the petunias, the pot of petunias spawn, and the petunias just think, not this again. It was that. There was the, oh no, not again moment. And I was like, you know what, characters? I appreciate you. I appreciate you throwing these ideas at me. There's no way that I'll ever think of a title that fits the naming scheme. The naming scheme is Symphony of the Stars, Song of the Spheres, Soul of the Sun. It's a musical word of the celestial, like, space-related word, all starting with S. It's not gonna happen. I'll never think of one. I went to go make my lunch, and wouldn't you know it, Sonata of the Satellites, as you can see below you, popped into my head. So currently, right now, I am open in my OneNote, which is what I used for my outlines for anyone who's curious. I have my OneNote open. I have the tab for Sonata of the Satellites, the new book. And I have written, "How dare you?" Which we will change, because I do have titles for this book, which we found on stream the other day after I was sure that I didn't write them down. I've written them down in like 3 other places now, so I can't lose them again. And so that's what we're doing today, is we are going to be outlining book 10. I'm going to outline book 11 on Friday, so it will be off stream, but next Tuesday we will outline book 12, which is going to be the for reals end. I'm putting my foot down. If my characters tell me any more stories about this universe, they will have to be side stories. They will have to take place outside the main timeline, because this is it. The pre-time jump characters got 6 books. I guess it makes sense for the post-time jump characters to get 6 books, but this is it. This is the end. Like, how dare water be the creator of all life in the universe, which includes me? I did not ask for consciousness. I wanted to be some moss or maybe a nice pretty stone. Instead, I'm a human and it's bullshit. Yeah, you can't unsubscribe to life, unfortunately. It doesn't come with a trial package. Megan's like, Conan, The Tonight Show is yours in 5 years. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. And so when I outline, I don't necessarily use the timer, but we can use the sprint timer today for people who want to do productivity. I might be a little bit more chatty than usual because my work will be a little bit more constant and a little less sporadic. But what I do is I write down my start point and I write down my end point, which I have to open up because I have notes in, I think, 3 different day planners for this series. So getting that out is going to be priority 1 here. I write down basically the different plots that I have. And this is going to be a little bit complicated because I've got 3 different timelines taking place in this book. So I'm going to write down all of my different plot points for all of my different characters. I'm going to establish what my action beats are, my 25, my 50, my 75, and my climax. And then I have to put them in order. And I switch back and forth between how I'm doing that. I have a really solid idea of where this book starts and where this book ends, because I actually wrote down a plan for that. So here we go. I think I have like 2 different places in here. So this is, I won't hold it up so that you can read it, but this whole orange here is notes for this new series. And then this green here is also... So we have that. I have so many of these. I use them every year, and I have like a stash. Okay, so put that there. So we have 2. 2 of those. And then I also think that I might have some notes from the year before that I need to pull out. Because somewhere I have a thing where it's like the ending points. So I have another one. Okay, I actually don't have any in this one. It's good. I just have to look because somewhere I wrote down... Might have been the year before that. Let's just check. Big Papa Chump, hello! How's it going? Sorry, I am a little distracted. I am looking through my day planners for notes on this story that we are about to outline. They're so nice. I only got about 3 months in on mine before I switched back to my usual, but I'm using my Zelda planner this year, and I might try to finish Legends planner next year. The nice thing about them being undated is that if you skip a big time chunk, it's not a huge deal. I've started using Notion as a planned... as a planner, I'm assuming that is. Our bestie Victoria, who is also the producer of the radio show, hipped me to it. Then I ignored it for 5 months, and I finally forced myself to figure out how it works. Nice! Is that like an online... Is it like a digital one, Peter? I'm doing pretty good. Getting into... usually we do productivity sprints, but when I'm outlining, I don't necessarily need the timer. I just kind of work on things as I go. And I'm basically just trying to get everything that I already have written down for this series in front of me so that I can start doing the idea dump. This is where it started. Okay. Okay, here it is. Here's what I'm looking for. Oh, I forgot about that part. This is why I write things down. I forgot about that part. Oh, this is when Langdale became a main character. December 2021. Okay. For the 3 people who know who that is so far. All right, I have all of my informations that I've already written down. So this is my day planner from, so I have July and August of 2021, I have things written down, and I have May and June of 2023. I have things written down. So that's going to be an interesting and fun blend of different timelines of ideas. I guess I have to get rid of my "how dare you" note and actually settle in for this. I have a little template that I use. I don't know if I can show you guys this. Like, this is my screen. So this is my OneNote, and I have this little template here that I use that has, like, so here's part 1, part 2, part 3. This is going to be the trilogy. And then I have my chapters, so I just grab this whole section and I dump it into my document, and that's how I set up my outline. Janine, hello. Turns out I need to clean up my prose a bit. That happens. Sorry. That happens quite a lot. That happens to me as well. Man, I have never had to worry about seasonal allergies, but I feel like the trees got me this year. I feel like, because the trees are releasing all their pollen right now, and I feel like they 100% got me. Like, Ghost Pepper has allergies every year, and he's like, it hasn't been that bad. But I'm like, I feel like the trees are trying to murder me. So what is Notion, Peter? Is that like is it a physical day planner, or is it like a digital one? The trees are bastards. They need to get a Herbatope. You want to come fight the tree in my backyard, Peter? Also, Big Papa Chump, what is up? What are you up to? Are you working on anything? No pressure to tell us if you are, but if you are and you want to share, let us know. I am a sci-fi and fantasy writer, if that hasn't become clear yet, and I am about to outline some new books in a space opera that I've actually published already. Published the first books of, and I thought it was over, and then my characters were like, nope. Notion is really good. I use it a lot, especially things it's not just. So what is it? Tell me about Notion. It's an online calendar sort of shaped like the Apple Calendar, but you can add various tags. Like if I want to highlight all musical guests, I can do that, or comedians. Oh, interesting. It's like different tags that you do. So it's kind of like how in my day planner, I color code like my projects. So I write down a certain project in red and a certain project in blue so that I can tell at a glance. More complicated than that, I'm sure, but... So now you can kind of see I've got my chapters, this will become hyperlinks later, and then I've got my area to write down what it is that I am writing down. And the title for book 10 is Conditional Constructs. A lot like that for each guest. Like we can add notes, like if Victoria is like, I like X person because they did that song, I can leave a note, I also like this person or whatnot. Oh, nice! So if you're working with someone else, it's like you can both use the same calendar. Super cool. Yeah, I'm a big, like, when people ask me, like, what I do for my stuff, like, I love my legend planners. I have a bunch of them, like, saved up for other years. But organization is all about finding out what works for you. And so if you've tried a day planner and a day planner hasn't worked for you, don't feel bad. I know a lot of people, especially people with ADHD, always tell me, like, I've tried the day planner thing, it doesn't really work for me. Finding the thing that works for you is the most important thing. If the thing that works for you is Post-it notes everywhere, then do that. If the thing that works for you is like Google Calendar and alerts and stuff, do that. Like, do whatever works for you. Be as organized or chaotic as you need to be in order to essentially keep on track. Victoria is the best. More than once I was like, I have a thing this week? And she's been able to be like, yep. Nice. I am, since I'm organized now, I don't look organized. I just have, I don't know if I can even show you guys this, but I just have like 2 different day planners open on my desk. But now that I'm organized, and ready to actually start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into, oh look, it's the Mad Lad. It was the Mad Lad before the camera cut away. I'm going to pop AFK quick. I'm just going to do my steps and reheat my coffee. And what I'm going to do when I come back is essentially an idea dump, which is I'm going to open 1 different colored Post-it note for each of my different plots, which I think I have like 4 or 5 because this is going to be a complicated one. And I'm just going to dump all of my ideas for each of those plots into those Post-it notes so that I can see visually where my plot points are for each different one. And then I will start weaving them together like a braid. Big Papa Chump, thank you so much for those 10 biddies. And then I'll start weaving them together like a braid into my actual outline so that I know what order everything happens in. And the final step will probably happen off stream, or I might switch back and forth between steps. But then what I do, once I have the order of everything, is I go back in and I flesh everything out. So all of my thoughts for what should happen or what might happen in that area, I'll go in, I'll flesh that out. Sometimes I leave little notes for myself, like, what does this mean? Or what does this person do about this? Or like, you know, what are the details of this, so that I can fill those in during the drafting process. And then that's how I essentially create my outlines. And I am doing a trilogy, so there will be threads left open for the other books that I'm going to be outlining on Friday and next Tuesday. But what I'm going to try to do is establish right off the bat where my stopping point is for each of my plots at the end of book 1 in the trilogy, so that I can basically, because I like to have a story that goes across a whole trilogy. So it needs to progress through all 3 books, but I also want there to be a story in the first book. I want it to feel like a satisfying story. So the overarching plot won't get wrapped up, but each of my characters should get some form of development that makes the reader feel like, okay, something happened in this book. It isn't just set up for the next book. These people have actually learned something has actually happened, we've actually progressed someone's life here, so that it feels satisfying. I have learned that what is 1 book in my head is a trilogy on paper, so this is basically how I plot now. So I'm going to take a quick break. I encourage all of you to get up, move around, use the restroom, grab something to drink, and or eat if you need to, and I will pause the ducks. And when we get back, I will put on the timer. I don't know how much I myself will be using the timer, but I will put on the timer. We'll do 30 minutes of productivity. We might chain the timer a little bit more today than we usually do. I'm going to make a mess of Post-it notes on my computer screen, and we're going to hopefully, at the end of the day, not at the end of stream, but at the end of the day, I am hopefully going to have a novel plot. That's the goal for today. I'll be right back. Okay, I have many, many thoughts swirling through my head, so let's see if I can get some of them onto paper. I think the most challenging thing is just going to be my ending points. Because I think I have a pretty clear delineation of where I want the second book to end, but I'm not entirely sure where I want the first book to end. So let me go ahead and turn on the sprint timer, just in case anyone wants some productivity indicators here. Ooh, if I might have to move. If I move the ducks, does it change the camera? It doesn't seem to. If I minimize the ducks, does it change the camera? Ooh, it doesn't. Okay. The more you know. Okay. So I actually have to have... three different starting points here. Because I have at least three different timelines. Okay. I wish I could change my text color on here, but I can only change the color of the post-it note. I'm using digital post-it notes here, so... Alright. And then we've got... Aw, thank you for the Scottish blessings, Peter. Appreciate. Guess you can get external keyboard sliders that you can put on the desk. Is that a thing? Oh, yeah. This keyboard tray is, it did not come with this desk. You can just buy them on Amazon. I bought this one because it's recessed slightly, and it lets my wrists rest comfortably on the side. It must be so helpful to not have the keyboard on the desk. Well, the desk is actually too high for the keyboard in order for me to have like proper posture. I used to have my keyboard on my desk, and it caused what is it? Not carpal tunnel, but the cubital tunnel, the one that's in the second half of these three fingers. So yeah, I actually keep my keyboard down here for ergonomic reasons, and you can get those external sliders. They're super cheap on Amazon. Chaos Octopus Camera, we got you covered. 1 second. This Chaos Octopus camera, ooh, is brought to you by Joseph Chilson, who drew this. This is his artistic rendition of me in my octopus hat. Enjoy. Vinyl Stencil, hello, hello. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I flashed your finished... I haven't gotten to take a picture of it since I did the French knots yet, but I flashed a picture of your finished cross stitch. It's done. Yes, he drew this in... For anyone who's wondering, this was drawn in MS Paint. We had to remind him that the hat has eyes. Take that as you will. Alright. Sorry, I have to be a little careful here because my post-it notes are covering my chat, so I have to remember to look at OBS from time to time. Okay. I'm just establishing my timelines here to start. Hopefully I'm spelling that character's name right. I'd have to check. just popped in. Excited to see finish. I gotta take a picture for you. I'll hold it up after Chaos Octopus Cam if you're still around, but I gotta take a picture for you. Just laying low because I kind of overextended myself the last week. It just seems like my body is telling me to take a break. Well, I'm glad that you're listening to your body and taking a break, Vinyl. I know that it's really easy to, in today's day and age, to overextend yourself. I'm gonna pop off the Chaos Octopus Cam for 1 minute so I can show you guys my screen. I'm not showing this on stream specifically because there's spoilers, but I want you to be able to see essentially what my layout is. So at the top there, that is my starting points, and then I have my timelines essentially, and down in the far corner I have my ending points. And that's what I'm gonna essentially just fill in here, and then I'll start doing I'll actually start weaving them together into like the outline for the plot. Yeah, I unfortunately can't share my screen because you guys will see massive, massive spoilers. But holding the camera back enough for you guys to see what the post-it notes look like. And so this is where now I'm going to start looking at what I've already got written down and start filling in my areas. That sounds really bad. Gonna try moving my OBS slightly so that I can see chat better. Outlining implies the existence of inlining. I'm sure it is in seamstry. Again, like with day planning, outlining is one of those things where you kind of need to just figure out what works for you. Okay, so I have that. See other notes. Thank you, self. Stream is struggling. Oh no! Vinyl, I'm glad you're back. I never liked outlining. Whenever I start outlining, I get too excited and start writing scenes. I mean, that's fine too. I outline mostly because after I start drafting, I need a way to go back and see where things are. Because otherwise I spend an inordinate amount of time scrolling through what I've written, looking for what I'm doing, like what I've already done. So as much as being a plan for me, outlining is a quick reference. So I'm like, okay, what happens in this chapter? Okay, I know what happens in this chapter. Or I can search my OneNote document for a specific thing or whatever I need to do to know what's happening where. So I think my ending point for that plot is going to be... Outlining is the only way I passed my English final in high school. I was never good at writing stories, essays, but I made a good outline of what I intended to write, and then oopsies, ran out of time. Honestly, some people just keep filling in details in their outline until they make a thing. Like, for me, the outline is just like a guide, but some people just turn it into the thing. I can't outline because before starting to write, I don't really know the characters, and I can't predict what they're going to do. That's fair, and honestly, sometimes that's what I use my writing prompts for on my blog, is practice. Like, to get to know a character, to sort of get into their head a little bit before... But I also find that I don't really know my characters until at least halfway through the first book, which is why your rough draft is always going to be a little bit, you know, of a dumpster fire, because you don't know what you're doing until you do it. Writing is weird that way. Okay, so we've got that timeline. I think that's where we're gonna end that one. So now, I'm just switching through 3 different pages of notes. Hey, Carly! Yeah, this is Joe's rendition of me. How's it going, Carly? What's up? This is Joe's rendition of me wearing my octopus hat, which we needed to remind him has eyes. Sarina writes, hello, hello. I was very big on outlining, but this story I'm going off an extensive brainstorm. Good luck. I hope it works out. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Whatever works for you is the best. Just woke up, about to figure out what to get for lunch. Heck yeah, I hope you had a very good sleep, Carly. Biscuits or cereal? What type of biscuits? Biscuits mean many things to me. Just like buttered biscuits. I had cereal. I had Honey Bunches of Oats, for anyone who's wondering. Oh, we can turn off the Chaos Octopus cam now. It's time to be me again! Hello, Carly. You may not need both, but do you want both? Hey, I feel that I don't need it. I'm trying to make good food decisions. Ooh, plain butter biscuits with jelly sounds good. Let me show Vinyl her thing. Here it is. And I'll get in close so you can see the different... Trying not to get them in my coffee mug. You can see the different tea mugs. This is with the French knots all finished. There were so many French knots. It was awful. I hate French knots. And then there's the bottom part. And then there's the full thing. I'm excited to get it to you. I have one more stage of gifting process before it's ready to go. But the French knot, I love every part of cross-stitching except the French knots, man. And there just ended up being a bunch on there. But they do look pretty decent, I must say. And if you guys do end up coming out this summer, you can just take it home with you. If not, I will ship it, of course. But if you guys end up coming out, it's ready to just go home with you. Living a very sedentary lifestyle right now, so I'm adjusting my eating to match. That's a good idea. I have just this week started trying to mind my portion sizes again. It was something that I used to be really, like I used to do a lot, and I haven't been paying enough attention to it lately. So I'm trying to be on my portion. I'm trying to make good, healthy choices when it comes to eating and snacking and portion sizes, so I get it. Feral Carly is best Carly. I do like Feral Carly. Not gonna lie. I like how my note says the end for real. God, notes for EE Book 7 edits. That's how old those notes are. To decide where to put these things. pull this out into another thing, actually. No. Good to know that that's a thing I can do, though. Okay, so this is what we got going on here. You can see that I've filled in a bunch of stuff. So I'm purposely zooming out so you can't read any of this. The top part there, this is my starting point. This is my ending point. There's one ending point that I haven't established yet. I'll have to do that soon. This is my generic information about the main plot. These are my character-specific present-day timeline details, and these are my 2 past timelines. Some of these are more action beaty than others. Some of these are basically just where my characters start at the beginning of the story. And what I need to do now is I need to go through and establish basically where my plot beats are. So if you've ever watched a Marvel movie, also Petra Anne Marie, hello! Thank you so much for passing by. I hope you're doing well. So basically, if you've ever watched a Marvel movie, this is a really good... Not every story follows the same formula. Not every story has beats at percentage marks. But if you watch a Marvel movie, they're really good at the formula, right? So 25% of the way through the movie, there's going to be a fight. 50% of the way through the movie, there's going to be a fight and a turning point. 75% of the movie, there's going to be a fight and a raising of the stakes. And then at the end of the movie, there's going to be an epic climactic battle. Not every action beat has to be a battle. But at 25, 50, 75, and basically 100% your climax, you're basically going to have something important happen. This could be a major confrontation. This could be a major revelation. And that's sort of how you track your character's progress. So I'm going to want action beats for... basically all of my timelines. So I've got 2 past timelines that need to have those story beats. I pretty much, I think, am close to figuring those out. And then for each of my 4 main characters in the present day, they're each going to have character development according to those 4 beats. Some of them will be stronger than others. That's okay. I want to make sure that each character... What is this song? I want to make sure that each character is getting character development. Some of them will be in the form of action battle sequences. Some of them will be in the form of politics. Some of them may be in the form of evolving life changes, things like that. And the idea is then, once I make sure that everything... make sure that each character knows what is this song. Yeah, they gotta know what's in their head, right? Aramui, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Welcome in. Thank you for calling me out on the random shift in, I do that a lot. My husband gets me on that a lot as well. But basically I want to make sure that they each have character development in this first installment, and then I'll start putting things in order of the actual scenes that they're going to happen in. I'm a digital pack rat and I keep everything same. I have all the original versions of one of my projects just because they are ridiculously bad. I have some really old bad stuff on my hard drive too, like almost unreadably bad, and yet at the same time, I was like, somebody get me BBC Scotland on the phone, this shit's camera ready. Listen, like Carly said, you gotta have that confidence. You've gotta have the confidence they're singing in this song. You gotta have the confidence to create without fear of failure. You have to recognize at some point in time, Catch Carter now, hello, how's it going? You gotta recognize at some point in time that it didn't come out of your head perfectly the first time, and that you're probably at some point going to need to go in and edit it and make it, like, actually, you know, readable. But at the same time, you have to have the ability to create, the confidence to create without fear. And it's really hard. Again, it's a learned skill, because I write stuff and I'm like, I don't know, maybe this is garbage. And I talked to a friend of mine who, her husband has written many novels, and she has helped him through that process. But she is just now writing her first novel all on her own for herself. And she's like, I feel unconfident in everything that I'm doing, and I feel like it's a dumpster fire, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I said to her, I would like to tell you that that goes away. I would love to tell you that at some point in time, you just feel like you know what you're doing well enough that you never doubt. And I was like, that doesn't happen. I've written dozens of novels. I've published dozens of novels, and I still question every pass, every rough draft, every editing pass. Every time I'm getting ready to publish something, I question whether I have any skill. You do have to have the confidence to keep going, but it's like the late, great Carrie Fisher said, be afraid, do it anyway. You have to push through the fear. You learn to get comfortable with the fear, I think. You learn that it's a trick of your mind and you just have to push past it, but it never entirely goes away. And I think it's important to be aware of that, right? Like, we're not necessarily writing to gain the freedom of confidence from all fear. We're learning where our comfort zone is and how to push those limits. And as David Bowie said, if you're always a little bit scared, you're in the right place. You should always be pushing just a little past your comfort zone to keep yourself strong and keep yourself learning. Everything I do is a dumpster fire. Carly, everything you do is an amazing, wonderful dumpster fire, and don't you forget it. Story is the reordering of plot events in order to maximize dramatic effect, be it tension or other reader interstrums. Paraphrase from Tomlinson. Absolutely. Absolutely. I am the sort of person, I build all of my story around character, which is why when you guys saw my post-it notes, I have a post-it note for each different character. That's why I'm going to go in here and focus on my action beats by character, is because for me, all plot springs from character. All of my plot is defined by the decisions that my characters make. Not everybody writes that way. Not everybody outlines that way. Not everybody plans that way. For me, character is the center of story. That's how I operate. Some people build a framework for a story and fill it with characters. That's fine too. One never loses fear, but instead learns to work around fear. There's a quote. I think I've read it on. Here before. It's from Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Let me see if I can find it. It's on my blog. If I can find it. How did I find it before? Calamity and Fortune. Here we go. This is a quote. straight out of The Art of War, the Book of Balance and Harmony. Change and movement have their times. Safety and danger are one. Safety and danger are in oneself. Calamity and fortune, gain and loss all start from oneself. Therefore, those who master change are those who address themselves to the time. For those who address themselves to the time, even danger is safe. For those who master change, even disturbance is orderly. Unfortunately can't read I unfortunately can't read whatever that says. There are a lot of amazing quotes in The Art of War. If you've not read it, highly recommend. It's a philosophy book as much as it is a war book. I've had this conversation with so many people. That one always sticks with me because I tend to be afraid of change and I tend to fear anything that shakes me from my stability. But as a creator, it's very important to understand that feeling like you're on the edge of disaster is actually sometimes a good thing. I'm going back to blasting out music in the middle of creating a playlist for my little sister's wedding. Heck yeah! Enjoy the playlist creation, Cash Carter, now, and enjoy the wedding. What is your checklist of when to trash a specific set of passages? I kind of make the decision on the fly. Usually, I overwrite. I have a tendency to overwrite, so I cut a lot when I edit. Like, I cut a lot of just paragraphs and paragraphs of stuff when I edit. But cutting a scene, for me, doesn't happen very often. Pretty much, if it doesn't feel like it's adding anything. So, a scene should either advance the plot or advance a character's development. If it's not serving the story in any way, then it shouldn't be there, or it should be remade to suit the story. I try to rewrite as much as possible. I try to save as much as I can from my first drafts. But if it's not serving the story, if it's not advancing a plot, if it's not giving a character development, if it's just kind of there to be fluff, cut it. Know yourself and know your enemy is a good quote. If you know yourself and know your enemy, you will win every battle. If you know your enemy but not yourself, you will only win 50% of the time. The fact Weird Al has never written a parody called The Art of War is disappointing. Well, I mean, The Art of War isn't a song, so there you go. I got the Chinese that you wrote! Heck yeah! I also read, we have a big, 2-book unabridged version of The Romance of the Three Kingdoms. And it was hard to read because it was very long, but I am glad that I stuck with it and read all the way through it because it is so fascinating. There's a lot of stuff in there, you can see the practical applications of Sun Tzu's teaching, because it's partially, for anyone who doesn't know, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms is partially a fictionalized epic and partially a historical account of a time period in China. And there has been, it's kind of also if you can buy, my copy of The Art of War has historical commentary from Chinese generals about how you apply the art of war, the words of Sun Tzu throughout time. And you can see the practical applications of it in the descriptions of the battles in The Romance of the Three Kingdoms as well. And it's mind-blowing and super cool. So if you like big historical epics and you want to learn about a culture that's not, because a lot of that stuff that we get exposed to when we're young is Western and European. If you want something from a culture that we don't get exposed to as much, check out The Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You can get abridged versions. I went for the unabridged, and it was worth it. It took a long, long time, but it was worth it. Both Ghost Pepper and I read through that and really... And I read all the footnotes, too. I love footnotes. And I got a lot out of that. I learned a lot about Chinese history from reading that book. So highly recommend for anyone who's looking for classics outside what you might normally get exposed to. But yeah, sidetrack, but be afraid, do it anyway. There's actual records, which is like reading paint dry, and then there's the romance version, which is about the chivalry, outsized heroics from the larger-than-life heroes. Yes, that's the version that we read. There's robots and magic if you look at it. I definitely remember the magic. Because I remember that when one of... the name is escaping me right now. But when one of the guys died, he, like, became a ghost, and he, like, actually shows up in later battles to kick ass as a fucking ghost, and it's amazing. It can be very dry at times, the unabridged version. There's a lot of battles. There's a lot of... but then there's, like, this whole bromance between Cao Cao and the one other guy, the guy who eventually becomes the kick-ass ghost. They have this, like... Guan Yu! Yes, they have this whole bromance. And Guan Yu's like, no, I really gotta go back to my brother and all this. I apologize if I say any of the Chinese names wrong. I try my hardest. I am not good with names. Zhu Liang created robots in one scene. It's mechanical bulls to carry their war gear. I do remember that. Now that you say it, I do remember. I dug that bromance. Like, I know that was probably an embellishment and probably not historically accurate at all. But Cao Cao was like, he like gave him a cloak. And he tried to woo him into the brotherhood of Cao Cao, and he was just like, "No, man, you're cool, but I gotta go home." But I really enjoyed reading those books because it shows a culture that's very different from like the Western European culture that like I was raised in, and that I was, you know, exposed to like Western European style stories. Asian stories are told in an entirely different way. And I was having this conversation with my husband because we are watching Shogun on Disney Plus right now. And it's amazing. For anyone who is not watching it, definitely check it out. We're only 4 episodes in, but it is so good. And I love that they have all of the Japanese actors are speaking in Japanese. And then you have the main character who's from England, who is foreign, who speaks Portuguese, but they have it English. So the Portuguese is all in English. And you have some of the characters translating. And it's very, like, I like that they've done it that way, that it feels very... I shouldn't say authentic because that's not exactly the word that I'm looking for. But it feels like I'm watching a person who has gone to a foreign land and is trying to learn the culture. And I was telling my husband, like, I notice the storytelling technique, right? The show starts out with, I think it's Turanga is the name that they gave him. They've changed all of them. They're not the historical names. But the Japanese lord is surrounded by enemies and outnumbered and on the verge of death and has to find a way to outwit his enemies. And it's a very it's an Asian heroic frame. That's how they, like, when we do our heroic narratives, we have figures like Robin Hood, and where it's like, you know, you are outside of the regular society and you're beating back against the system, whereas the heroic figures in Asian tales tend to be these very respectful, very dignified men who find themselves in a position where they are being closed in by bloodthirsty enemies and they have to be clever. And it's cool to recognize that and to see that being used in other tales. It's only different because Arthurian romances have gone out of fashion, but Lancelot and Arthur and Galahad are quite similar to the main characters of RTK. There's a huge emphasis on honor. War is just the setting. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's really interesting. I could just do a whole stream talking about story form and, you know, the way that the heroic the heroic journey of a character is presented in different cultures and how they start to blend together and like where the crossovers are and everything. But it's really cool. It's just really cool to see a frame that isn't necessarily the frame that you typically encounter today. And it's like my husband and I have watched a lot of Chinese and Japanese movies, subtitled, of course. Some that were never even really officially released over here. And when you've been exposed to enough of them, you can see the differences in like their narrative. And one of the things that pops up a lot in Chinese movies that doesn't happen a lot in Western movies is usually if a character is about to make a heroic sacrifice, they have time to have this really long and heartfelt farewell with the important people in their life before they go and do the heroic sacrifice. Whereas in a Western style narrative, that time is not there. They just go and they do the sacrifice, and part of the tragedy of the sacrifice is that it was very sudden, and they didn't have a chance to say those final things or make those final amends. And it's just a difference in presentation of what they're emphasizing in the story. And it's fascinating to me as a storyteller to see that sort of thing. I notice because I watch these movies with a guy who's like, stop kissing and go die already. And I'm like, shh. They're having a moment. I like the Asian way too, personally. I like the character interactions. Yeah, Ghost is like, just go do your sacrifice, please. I'm done. I'm done with this moment. But I like those moments. I like those because my stories are all character oriented. I want those character moments. Personally, I don't think there's a right or a wrong way. Different cultures tell stories in different ways, but I think to be a storyteller is to see all of the different ways that stories are told and to embrace them all and to embrace the one that works best for whatever you're working on. Cheers! Another hydrate. Pie is on top of the hydrates today. I am going to take another quick break, and then I am going to do another sprint timer because I've taken a little bit of a break from the outlining here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm a little bit torn because I have a lot of thoughts about the beginning of the book, and I need to start looking at where my action beats are going to come in, but it might be easier if I establish what the first couple scenes of the book are going to be. What do you mean today? Well, yesterday I didn't stream, Pie, so you couldn't make me hydrate on a day when I wasn't streaming. Yes, you are usually on top of them. I'm just saying. I haven't streamed in 4 days. So it might be easier for me if I clear out some of that. If I get my starting points in, and then I can start to see where my 25 and 50% marks are going to be. I told you to hydrate 2 days ago when you weren't streaming. You did. And I appreciated that. And then you told me that I was lying. You sent me a GIF that said cap scale 1 million. Something about the other person knowing that one is going to sacrifice themselves is worse to me in the sense that it's better because it puts you in a hopeless situation where you know you can't prevent it. Whereas if it happens without you knowing, you don't have that guilt. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that one puts the emphasis on sort of on the grief and the loss, and the all of the unfulfilled things that you aren't going to get to do because that thing very suddenly happened. And one puts the emphasis on the other emotions, on what is being lost, and that final experience, that sort of gift that you get to carry with you into the end, but also that hopelessness of, was there something I could have done in this moment to prevent it? And knowing which works best for your story is part of being a storyteller. You said you aren't good at hydrating and eating when Ghost isn't home. I'm not. So I appreciated... You weren't the only one who sent me messages reminding me to eat, and I appreciated all of them because I needed them. So I just kindly reminded you. I appreciated it, Pi. I did need the reminders. I am going to take a quick break here, though. When we come back, I'm going to start putting scenes into this thing and see how it goes. I almost did the outro screen. That's not what we... I'm back. The climax starts after the climax ends. There's a period of recovery where the characters cheer and they lick their wounds. They also realize that their victory has a downside. Recovery phase is a low moment. In movies, I think Western way works best. In TV, I prefer the Eastern method. I definitely think there's a benefit to... Look at you, Chili Duck. I definitely think there's a benefit to TV series in that you can do things differently. You have more time for development. I definitely think a novel could go either way. Like a novel, some novels end after the climax and you don't get any falling action. Thank you, Exiled Fae. I'm gonna turn the timer on because I thought of a bunch of stuff while I was AFK and I want to write it down. Let me save the ducks first. And resume. I did. I thought I'm up to about the 50% mark with the main plot. I think I have the plot points. I think I have my percentage marks for the other timelines. So I basically am just looking at the back half of the book now. And I think I have my end point. So that's good. I know where I'm going. I just have to figure out how to get there. He picked this duck. He wanted this one. So, ask and ye shall receive. Your duck is the beanie duck. Actually, I know I just turned the thing on, but let's see if we can check on, because I bet I know where Carly's duck is. There you are, Carly, living your best beanie duck life. You have gone off into the wilds to roast marshmallows. You've hung up your beanie. You've flown away. I gave you the beanie duck because the beanie duck can fly. Alright, so we've got... Heck yeah, Carly's playing. You're 3/4 of the spring poem I was writing. Poem 1, Spring Wedding. Poem 2, Autumn Couple. Poem 3, Winter Love. Interesting. Alright, so we've got... This is going to be our 25%. There's going to be a lot of muttering to myself, and it's not going to make sense to you guys, and I only partially apologize for that. All my ending points. Okay. So I've got a lot of my 25, 50, and climax marks. I need 75% marks for most of these plots. My desktop is just a mess of stuff right now. I need to turn on my custom dictionary so that I know that I'm spelling all these characters' names correctly. I need to update my custom dictionary because it might be old. Maybe I just have to reopen this document. There we go. I think. Okay, good. Why remember how to spell the names you made up when you can make Word do that for you? I can't answer any lay versus lie questions because it breaks my brain. There's charts on Google that will tell you the right way to do it. I have to look it up every time. I edit for people for money and I always have to look it up every time. I hate the fact that a different word is like the past tense or present tense of a different... Whoever made that decision, this is why English is such a screwed up language. I hate it. Thanks, I hate it. Okay. Sorry, I know that's not a helpful answer, but I don't want to tell you the wrong way to do it. I always get it wrong. Spelling her name wrong? Spelling his name wrong. I've been waiting an hour for a shipping place to call me for a total for something I'm sending to Joe. They finally called me and said, I forgot to add this and I'll call you back. No! Oh, Carly, I'm so sorry. I hate that. So just give me an answer. How hard is it to just calculate how much it costs to ship something? Stop auto-correcting. I'm waiting to make food until this gets done. Oh no, Carly, you should just eat. You have no idea how long it's going to take them to get back to you. I'm like that though too. I hate that. I just want to make me some biscuits and play Final Fantasy. I know that feeling. You should do the biscuits though. At least do the biscuits. Work has me salty today, bitching to my coworkers in a group text. Oh no, what happened, Exiled Faye? I'm off tomorrow, which would be nice if it didn't mean I work on Saturday. Oh no. Do you do your chores on your midweek off days? That's what I used to do when I worked weekends, because no one's at the store on a Wednesday. I have anxiety that I'm gonna put the biscuits in to cook and they're gonna call me and it's gonna burn. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. But then they won't call you and you could have had the biscuits. It's the worst. Yeah, we used to do all of our chores on Wednesday when I worked weekends because no one would be at the store and it was beautiful. That was the only good thing about working weekends, really. I purposely skipped summers. They want it to be a flashback. So after they get married, people start hitting on his wife, aka the tree, and he gets annoyed, but they forgive each other. Ooh, interesting. I'm very interested in this project, Mad Lad. I don't do a lot of poetry, so... Alright, I'm getting a very sketchy... I've got several chapters very sketchily outlined here. Trying to decide... Just stop autocorrecting. 2 people have read at least one of my poems in my anthology on For the Words. Nice! No comments yet, but slow progress is still progress. I didn't know you were on For the Words, the mad lad. Are we friends on there? If not, we should be friends on there. What is your username? I'm everywhere and nowhere. I think I'm Star Striker on there. Yeah, I'm Star Striker on there. If you want to add me. If you haven't already. So I have all my 25% marks in. Backtopus got caught up writing a thing, which I'm actually very excited about. Nice, Peter! I mean, that's what the whole point of this stream is. What do you mean, much cooler profile than yours? I'm sure your profile is great. I just whacked my friggin' my mouse into my microphone. I like your outfit. Oh, are you just new to the site, Mad Lad? You'll unlock clothes quickly. Or don't know how I would read your poems. I don't really know how any of that stuff works. It says your longest streak is 2 days. Did you repair your streaks in between? You should repair your streaks. You're never gonna get your wings. How are you gonna get your wings? I get them wings. Is this a really eye-glaring color? Ooh, it is. There we go. Purple that won't see my eyeballs out of their sockets. I have the leaf wings and that's it? Yeah, you get the wings for having streaks. Fun fact, if you go into For the Words on a day that you're not writing to preserve your streak, you can fix your streak without using any stempos. Which is what I do for days that I don't write. I have 23. Yeah, you can do it for 0 stemp. You can, if you repair a streak on the day, it's 0 stempos. If you repair one in the past, it's 2 stempos for each day. And if you repair it in the future, like if you know you're not going to write on a specific day, then it's 1. Bad Wolf TC, hello, hello. I need to get back on For the Words. No subscription time right now. I just started it a year ago and I really enjoy it. I don't tend to do my writing on For the Words. I tend to do my writing outside of it and then log my words each day because that's what works for me. But I like dressing up my little character and having different outfits. If anyone wants to add me on there, I am Star Striker, just without the born. So Star Striker. And I will add you. How many days do you have where you don't write? I do not write on weekends, so I don't write on Saturdays and Sundays. And when I'm sick, I don't write on days when I'm sick. So I usually have 1 or 2 days each month. I didn't write the day my hard drive died. I had to retroactively repair my streak that day. So I usually have at least 2 days in the middle of the week in a month where I have to repair my streak, and I have to repair my streak every Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes I remember to do it. You've already added me on For the Words, Peter. You're already on there. You're already on my friends list. So I try to remember to go in every Saturday and every Sunday and repair my streak without paying for it, but I often end up having to spend the Stempos retroactively. I do my writing on Scrivener and then paste it. I get distracted by the battles. Yeah, exactly. Like, it just doesn't fit into my schedule to actually write on the program. Also, I need things to look a certain way when I'm writing. But I go in afterwards, and it's a nice way to, like, reward myself for having done my work, because then I get to finish quests. I have all the dragon pets. Can't figure out how to add friends. I think you have to go on the profile. So I think if you search for somebody and then go to their profile, you can add them. Most people add me, so I'm not up on the how you add people. But if you tell me your name, I can try to find you and add you. Are you Bad Wolf on there too? Also, how's it going, Bad Wolf? Let me just... I know it's the break timer. I want to establish... I'm doing some color coding here. And make that this color. So that at a glance I can see which time period each of these scenes is happening in. Oops. TC Wolf, trying to get myself back on a schedule for writing, but you know, life keeps getting in the way. I know that feeling so hard. Keep at it. Each day, it'll eventually fall into place. It takes so long to get used to the habit, like to create the habit. Sorry, I am looking for a person. This is why I am TC Wolf. I found you. I think if I go onto your profile, I can add you as a friend. Heck yeah. No pressure, but I sent you a friend invite if you want to add me on there. Anyone else who wants to add me on there, go for it. I will always accept. Hate to be that person. If you have a second, could you see if my words are missing? Can you send me a link? I don't know how to see it. If you go to community, then reading. Like, do I go to your profile and then go to community? Like, how do I? Oh, reading. Poetry. I see it. I don't... There does appear to be spaces missing. Because under Winter Love, I just see I wake up every da. I don't know why it's doing that. I couldn't ask you or couldn't answer you as to why it would do that or tell you how to fix it. But maybe it's just not saving properly. I love you. I wake up every day. And I love you every day. TC isn't Tyler's child. Ooh, Peter knows all the things. Heck yeah. I create myself something scattering through time space. I assume Bad Wolf is a reference to back when Doctor Who was good. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I'm not into the newer seasons. Sorry, hot take. I tried to get back into Doctor Who with the new specials, and they just did not catch me. I guess I can't comment on the newest season of Doctor Who. I haven't actually watched it. I did see that it just appeared on Disney Plus. The new Doctor just appeared on Disney Plus. I thought he seemed really cool, but I just can't get into... The writing in the special was just... Matt Smith is where I stopped pretty much too. I tried... They brought David Tennant and Donna Noble back, and I tried to get into it, and the writing was just so bad, you guys, that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Not me staying up past midnight to finish the 2 new episodes. If you like it, then fine. I could not get into the new writing. I'm sorry. Every 2 seconds, babies. Oh, babes, not babies. I can read. Oh, babes is the new Geronimo. I got ya. It click. Maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'll give the new Doctor a try. I just... The way they ended the whole Dr. Donna plot was just so bad. It was so bad, you guys. Oh, okay. The first episode is about babies. A lot of people never get it. They're like, you like wolves? That was my favorite, like, plot line of Doctor Who, was the Bad Wolf one. And the Rose and the Doctor and Donna and the Doctor were my 2 all-time faves. In one episode, the new Doctor is pissing off, okay. Is pissing off the racists, the homophobes, and the transphobes, which I absolutely love. Anything that they hate and rage about. Did they do that on purpose? Like, did they basically say, if you're racist, homophobic, transphobic, don't watch the show anymore? Was that, like... Is that the goal? Ruby might be one of my... See, I haven't met Ruby. So I might give it a try. I'll have to watch it without Ghost. He's 100% no on the new season, unfortunately. He did not enjoy the specials. He was not on board. The Face of Bo is really hard to beat. Harkness was just chef kiss top notch. I loved him so much. Friend request isn't popping up, but I think it's because I need subscription time. No worries. It should stay on your account so that the next time, don't feel any pressure to accept. I think it'll just hang out there. And whenever you are able to go back in and accept it, it should be there. If not, hit me up again when you get back on there, and I will send it again. 100% chill. I think RTD did it deliberately. I just could not... I feel like RTD is trying, but I just really could not get behind the writing in the specials. Was just not... It was not good, you guys. I'm sorry. It wasn't good. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to do one more 30-minute sprint because I am getting on towards when I am going to need to eat some lunch. So I am just going to get up and do my steps here quick so that we don't have to rush the end of stream. We're going to do 30 more minutes. I'm going to fill out a little bit more of this outline. I feel like I'm really solid on the first 25%. I'm starting to go in and fill in my details for that. And then I'm going to obviously finish this off stream. But I think I have a pretty clear idea. I just have to figure out how to get from my midpoint to my climax start. So there's about a fourth of the book that I'm like, stuff happens. I don't know what that stuff is yet, but probably what will happen is that will be my character development time. So I've got my main plot going on a course, and once I hit the turning point is when it'll start splintering more into character stories. And so each character will get a little bit of development in that time period, and then it'll all sort of come together for the climax of this book, which will sort of set the stage for what the main plot is going to be for throughout. It's going to sort of be not quite the 25% mark, but it'll basically be sort of like the 25% mark of the overarching plot for the overarching trilogy. Because then our series turning point will be somewhere in the next book. So I'm gonna go do that quick, and we're gonna do 30 more minutes of productivity, and then I'm gonna go get some lunch. The best part of the whole series is the 5-second Looney Tunes hang in the air MS Foster does before falling. All right, I will be right back. It's playing a song from my Yoshi's Island game that I love. I got so excited when this came on. I gravitate toward outlining around the climactic moments. It just helps keep everything organized, right? Like, I don't know. It helps my brain, because otherwise I'm just like, and then I don't know what happens. Did anyone like the second episode? I'm just gonna stop this quick. My friend said it was his favorite, but I prefer the first one. I thought that the second episode was the best written of the three, but it also wasn't anything, like, it didn't feel like a special, it just felt like a long episode of Doctor Who. So, like, in terms of how it fit in with the rest of the specials, it didn't feel like it added anything, but if it had just been a regular episode of Doctor Who, it was, like, it just felt like a long episode of Doctor Who. Oh, you don't mean the specials, you mean, like, the new episodes. I can't comment. I didn't watch any of the new episodes. I said they were good episodes but terrible specials. Yeah! I also had higher expectations for those, and it didn't live up to it. That's why I didn't go back to the show. But if you guys tell me that the new Doctor is worth checking out, I will check it out. I won't be able to get Ghost Pepper to watch it, but I will watch it myself, and I will give the new Doctor a try. He seemed really cool in the special for the, like, 5 minutes that I got to see of him. Just had a different call. Uh-oh. Carly, what is happening in the world of Carly? Kate Mon, hello. How's it going? The new Doctor's worth checking out if you vibe with him. I can always check him out, see if I vibe. The usual BS. Uh-oh. Carly, have you eaten yet? You need to eat, girl. Get some food in you. Screw everyone else. Have those biscuits. You deserve biscuits, damn it. The Christmas episode is important to watch. Okay, so if I watch the new Doctor, I have to start with the Christmas episode. Caveman got a chocolate bar? Heck yeah, what type of chocolate bar? I probably won't have heard of it, but what type? I don't know how to pronounce that, Peter. He's joy and sadness and wonderful. Interesting. Can I pick up Watson here in a bit? So now I'm considering just not eating. No! Carly, you gotta eat at some point. Promise me you'll eat at some point. Okay, I'm gonna restart the timer because I've done no work, but this is it. This is definitively the timer. I gotta do 30 minutes, and then I can go eat some food. Gotta be less distracted. Hey, we all have days like that, Carly. I feel you. I just want to make sure that you get food in you because you need that food. keep this up to date. Oh my god, where did I put this woman's name? This is what the outline is supposed to be for. He's at daycare because he was annoying me this morning. I hope he got to run out all of his energy. If you sent me a PM during the stream, I won't see it until after the stream came on, unfortunately. Sorry. I did miss a hydrate, a posture check, and a stretch. I will do those now. Also, I have so many things open on all of my screens right now. I have no more screen real estate. Unfortunately. It's pronounced like shooty. So there's no N at the beginning of it. I don't not want to be. Okay, Cademon, I will check it out after the stream. The N is silent, like in pterodactyl. I got ya. Thank you for telling me that, or I would never have known. And his last name is Gatwa. Shooty Gatwa. And that's the new doctor. What did I do wrong, Carly? Oh no. Oh, okay. Whew! Thought I upset Carly. Oh my god, this is one of those scenes that has like a million years worth of description because it's explaining everything that happened in the time gap. This is just my perpetual state of being at the moment. Carly, I hope your day improves. It's your day off. It should be relaxing. Delta Flareon, hello. I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Positive vibes to all. Thank you so much. And Kiki, hello. How are you, my friends? Whoops, I'm typing so fast, I'm not even finishing my whole words. Just put a hearty stew on the burner. It's gonna be so good. That sounds good. The day is fine. I'm just impatient. Carly, I feel you. Puts into flush transportation. Heck yeah! We are having leftovers tonight because it is D&D night, so there will not be time to cook. But we have leftover curry in the fridge. and I are excited. Just keep writing, just keep writing. No idea why that popped into my head, and in my head it's totally Dory singing that. I will admit that I have used that in the past. That's what I love about the Dory chant, is it can just be applied to anything. Just keep going. I need this duck game. Heck yeah, it's only like $10 for the base game and all of the DLCs, Flareon. I have an extra... our DM left this boy here for me. Well, that's why you can apply it to other things, Peter. Like, just keep writing. Just keep going. Although you better learn to swim if you want to fight water, Peter. And that might be critical. Ronaldo297, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We've also got another posture check and a hydrate. Cheers, Halo Banshee. I hope you're doing well. Meets a husband who just walked in. There is no time to explain. I am buying ducks. Heck yeah. Husband of Flareon. Flareon needs these ducks. They are cute. They are sweet. They do tons of funny and interesting things. Just keep an eye on the cow. Because the aliens will come. Flareon. Keep an eye. Now our job of taking care of the streamer is done! Halo, thank you for dropping by. I hope you're doing well. I was in the process of buying it for Flareon. Who hit the button fastest? Ronaldo, what is up? If you're working on something and would like to share, please feel free to let us know. No pressure. We're chillin'. This is, I should put up the final sprint thing. This is our final sprint for the day, but We got ducks. We got clicky clacks. I'm at the point, I've only gotten through 3 scenes of in-depth description so far because I have to do like this whole bridge of times. Cooperate, dang you. Who's a good streamer? Sorry, I've missed so much. Gonna give you money later. Heck yeah. You don't have to. But thanks. It won't let me buy the full collection for Flareon. No! Carly, I love you. Cheers. No one is obligated to give me any money. If you want to, I appreciate it. If you don't want to, no big deal. I realized that I just spent like a solid 15 minutes not paying attention to anything, so I don't know if that qualifies me as a good streamer, but if you think that I am, thank you. I existed once, 1 out of 10, never again. Kiki, thank you. I thought you were following me already. Is this a new account? I think I've established most of the, like, long-term informational... Honestly, I question anybody giving me money because I don't know that I feel like I'm worthy of money, but if somebody wants to throw money at me, cool. Just be sure. Okay. I've got that, I've got that, I've got that. So I've got all my starting points established. I can delete that note. That. Got that. Okay. So I've got that. Got that. Got that. Okay. And I gotta go through my other notes. Okay, I've got all of my, I've got notes so far. Got all of my establishments. You as good streamer, yes, you get in the zone. I did too yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it happens with like creative and productivity streams. I think the people who hang out here are generally understanding of that, but it makes me feel bad because sometimes I'm like, I haven't said anything to chat in like 20 minutes. I hope y'all aren't like upset with me or whatever. I get you, Carly, though. I generally, maybe it's because I'm such a shy person, but I generally worry a little bit when, people come into the chat and just, like, instantly throw around money. But some people do that. I mean, we had someone who was new earlier who threw some bits at us, and I was like, okay. You know, everybody does their own thing, but I'm just generally suspicious of, I remember when we were talking about confidence and having the confidence to do things. I don't actually have confidence despite pretending that I maybe do, so now y'all know. You somehow convinced me to buy a book. What book? Which book, the Mad Lad? The real issue is my spending addiction and my book addiction. I just bought 2 puzzles yesterday. I'm not one to talk. And I'm planning on buying a bunch of dice for my birthday, so... Because anyone who's like, I've seen your dice hoard, you don't need more dice. Yes, I do. And I'm getting more dice. My stew is going to take forever, but I want to eat it now. That's the problem with, like, stew and soup and stuff, is it smells good instantly, and you have to wait, like, 6 hours to eat it. When I tried to art and talk at the same time, listen, I get to a point in the day where I have done so much thinking about words that I just stop being able to communicate, and I mixed up words last night, and Ghost Pepper was like, I think you mean this other word, and I was like, listen, I've been doing words all day, cut me a little slack. There's been a slew of bots lately. That is true. It has been really rough on Twitch lately. Like, I am never sure anymore if a person is a real person until they say something in chat. And I've been kind of cautious about, like, a lot more cautious about... I think it's a book called Symphony of the Stars. What? The Mad Lad. What? That's the big boy. That's the first 3 books all in one right there. I feel that so much. EXE stopped working. Yeah, you definitely get to a point where you've been so creative that your brain is like, all right, you used all that knowledge. Now everything is a thing, and a thingamajig and a whatchamacallit. Have fun making sentences for the rest of the day. But yeah, it's been really rough on Twitch lately. Like, it's hard to tell when people are real people and what's, like... And Twitch seems to be notoriously bad about getting on top of that stuff. There was a whole hot minute where I was really nervous about streaming because I was like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know who's actual people. I don't know what's going on. But I'm never gonna get upset about people being vigilant, especially people who are regulars, people who I know who are just, you know, first of all, real people and who I know are looking out for me. But yeah, if, Ronaldo, if you're still lurking, I appreciate you. You're welcome here. You're welcome to do you. We're all just a little, high strung here on Twitch right now because there have been a lot of bot problems, like a lot. And if you haven't seen the bot problems, in streams, kudos, because it's been really bad. And I'm a pretty small stream. I don't usually encounter a lot of that stuff, and I've had a lot of bot problems lately. So, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. It seems, cautiously, knock on wood, slightly better than it has been, this week, but it changes so quickly. Like, it's so hard to say. Maybe I'm not a real person. The Mad Lad, I trust you. Don't be nice to me or I'll propose to you. Delta, you are the best bean and the best floof. And that is the truth. True facts. Last night in Joe's chat, he had someone follow and they didn't say anything until like 10 minutes later and they flooded the views with bots. Yeah. It's hard, man. For a while there, I was like, hi, if you're a real person, welcome in. Like, because I just didn't know, right? I had so many follows that seemed like, and I had to ban some people, which I really don't like doing, but they seemed like they were bots or not nice people. So it's hard. Like, it's hard when the people who are supposed to be taking care of that stuff. So, like, if I had absolute confidence that Twitch was on top of bots and suspicious behavior and someone came into my stream and was like, I'm going to give you money, then I would be like, cool, I trust that you're a real person. But because Twitch is not on top of that stuff, we sometimes have to be more vigilant, especially small streams like this one. We have to be really vigilant about like what's happening and suspicious behavior. So if anyone is like, you know, sees the vigilance happening and is like, why are you doing that? That's why, because we have to be really careful. I'm a very small streamer. I mean, almost nothing to Twitch. You know, I'm just over here in my little corner of the internet with my friends, chilling out, and if something is happening on Twitch, I need to be on top of it for myself because Twitch isn't going to be on top of it for me, which sucks, but it is the way that it is on a big platform like this, and I appreciate my regulars keeping an eye out for me, and especially because I do have to sometimes not be aware of what's happening in my chat. Keeping an eye out and keeping vigilant for me because it makes my life easier. The weirdo who likes the clown duck. Even more proof that you're a real person, the mad lad. The energy it takes to make a bot, I'm just like, I know, right? Like, geesh, put that energy towards saving the world, my friends. My goodness. You're the best streamer, Peter. I don't think that's true, but thank you so much. I know so many better streamers than me. There's the way you want it to be, and there's the way it is. Exactly. I'd be great at being a real person. We are gonna go because it is 2 o'clock. I gotta eat some food and get back to the outlining, but I am going to see who is around on Twitch. I am muted so you won't hear me double. I'm gonna see who's around that we can drop in on. Who is doing stuff that we can chill out with? French Toast OK is around. We might drop in on her. Afternoon Pomo and chill. Heck yeah. French Toast OK is another writing / productivity streamer. She usually does writing sprints and crafting in between. She does some cross stitch during her breaks sometimes. She's got a kitty cam. She is super chill and nice, so give her some love. We're gonna head over there. Finally, the call, Carly. Good luck with the things. Get some food in you. We are raiding. If you have my emotes, please feel free to use them for the raid. Otherwise, use any emotes that make you happy because it's all about spreading the love rather than how we do it. Thank you all for hanging out today. I appreciate it. I know this was a bit chaotic, but hey, what would my streams be if it wasn't chaotic? I will be back tomorrow morning. We will be working on the Arvalia Chronicles. We will be editing, so there will be a bit more focus and a bit less chaos, maybe, possibly, if things work out according to plan. And I will be back again on Thursday for, we're going to do an update to the writing prompt novel. We're going to choose some more prompts. So that will be chaos. So if you're looking for chaos, come for that. I'm going to be rolling randomly on some writing prompts to add to that project and updating a bit on how it's going. All of my streams are supposed to start at 10 a.m. Sometimes they start closer to 10:30, but if you look at this area between 10 and 10:30 a.m. PST, you will find me for the next 2 days. And then I will be off for the week, but probably on It's Swift's channel on Saturday, because that usually happens. Please take care of yourselves. Carly, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good day. Flareon, it was amazing to see you. The Mad Lad, Peter, Exiled Faye, everyone. I love you all. If I forgot to say your name, I still love you. Pi, thank you for keeping me hydrated. I will see you guys all very soon.